So Samsung just announced two new A series phones, the A56 and the A36 here in Nigeria. Now, obviously, I've got both phones. I have been testing them and all of that. But in this video, we'll be talking more about the Samsung Galaxy A56. The Galaxy A56 starts at $430 for the 8 gigs of RAM with 128 gigs of internal storage. But what I have here with me is the version that comes with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of internal storage, and it costs slightly more. Now with the A56, Samsung made some really good changes in the design and of course introduced a bit more AI features. We're going to talk more about these AI features later on, so make sure you keep watching. Just like the A55, Samsung retained the aluminum frame with a brushed look, the glass back and front that is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass Victus Plus, and of course the ever beautiful key island. But you may have also noticed the redesign in the cameras of the A56. There is now a ring connecting all three cameras together instead of them being independent like we had in the Galaxy A55. Personally, I feel this gives the A56 a more cleaner and compact look, but what do you think? Let me have your thoughts in the comments below. Now, something else you won't notice except you actually hold this phone in your hand is the fact that it is a bit slimmer than its predecessor at 7.4 millimeters. So that makes it both lighter and more comfortable to hold for longer hours. Apart from this awesome gray, light gray color that I have right here, there are other colors that you can choose from. I think the awesome olive is the best color amongst them all. So why not look out for that when you want to get yours? Samsung also got rid of the memory expansion slot in the SIM card tray. So get the 256 gigabytes if you feel the 128 gigs will be too small for you. And if you are thinking about how good the stereo speakers of this phone actually sounds, well, take a listen. Now, when it comes to durability, what I haven't actually mentioned is the fact that the A56 is still IP67 rated when it comes to protection from dust and water damage. Meaning if this phone mistakenly falls inside water, so long as it's just 1 meter deep, you can stay in for 30 minutes and you will not have any issues. Now here is a quick display spec of the A56, and honestly I can already notice very few upgrades. Firstly, it is slightly bigger at 6.7 inches and also brighter at 1200 nits. The A55 was actually 6.6 inches in size and 1000 nits at peak brightness. It is also a 10-bit display with about 16 million colors. It also supports HDR10 Plus content both on YouTube and even Netflix application. So you get really vibrant color reproduction, white balance, deep blacks, and also because videos can play on YouTube up to 4K, that kind of like just adds to the overall quality when it comes to your video viewing experience. The 120Hz refresh rate is well optimized on this smartphone. Apps open really fast and scrolling on it feels really smooth. It is adaptive, so that means it doesn't always stay at that 120Hz. Hence, it really helps when it comes to battery drainage. My only complaint with the display has to be the fact that the fingerprint scanner is just too slow, in my opinion. I feel it can be a bit faster. And also these bezels, these black borders around the screen, didn't really see any much reduction like we really would have wanted. Now it's time for us to talk about the brand new software that you get when you experience the Galaxy A56. It is One UI 7 based off Android 15. So you get some refinements here and there. Many of them are AI based, of course, so we're going to delve deep into those AI stuff very soon. And also Samsung promised 6 years as usual of Android updates, which is super cool. Now, disclaimer, there are lots of AI features in the flagship phones like the S25 Ultra that you don't get in the Galaxy A56. For example, when you long press on the power button, it actually turns on or activates Beats By, which for me is kind of disappointing because I know most of us would have preferred Gemini. But The truth is, you can actually just swipe down from this side of the screen for you to activate Gemini, so I think it is still all good. Also, the now bar is now available on the A56. Even though the positioning feels a bit off for me when compared to where it is with my S25 Ultra, I think it is still a very nice feature to have. I actually noticed this difference in positioning immediately I switched. Then there is Circle to Search, the updated version with music recognition, which is also, like I said in my A55 long-term review, is available there. So it's not really a brand new feature like that. In the Samsung browser, you're going to see another new AI feature called Read Aloud. And yeah, you can already tell from the name what it does. Personally, I don't see myself using it because number one, I still have very clear eyes, so I can read for myself. And secondly, the voice is just too AI-ish, if I have to put it that way.
Nigeria. Canada signed code-sharing agreement to allow airlines sell seats to each other.
And also, it reads everything, like the date, the article, the name of the writer, those details that you really do not need, you know. Then we also have AI Select, like it allows you to select a part of your screen and then gives you suggestions based on what you just selected. Honestly, it can come in really handy in different situations. Now, the other AI features in the A56 are found in the Gallery app. So let's just talk about these cameras. Samsung pretty much stuck or kept the same camera configuration like the A55. It is only at the front that we see a pixel downgrade from 32 megapixel to 12 megapixel selfie camera. So once again, there is no dedicated telephoto lens in the biggest A series. Not cool. Now, starting first with the 12 megapixel ultra wide shots, I would say they were averagely decent at best. Because it is just 12 megapixel, you really don't get so much details to make the pictures pop. It got my skin tone right in this picture you're looking at right now, but overall they just lack enough details. In this instance, I feel it handled dynamic range very well. Now, switching to the main sensor, I would say it did quite well in color processing and dynamic range. Colors pop to a large extent, and I would say the pictures were satisfactory when it comes to details. In portrait, you get even better edge detection. It was really great, and also sky processing was top-notch. Once again, I really wish there is a dedicated telephoto lens so that we get better portrait photography, but we don't have that. So yeah, I think the S24 FE has that. So even though it costs just a bit more than the A56, if you are really into portrait photography like me, then that may be the best phone to go for. For videos, the back camera can shoot at maximum 4K at 30 frames per second, no 60 frames per second. And I'll say video output was really great and very satisfactory. There were lots of details and colors and proper dynamic range processing. Now remember I said that this camera is equipped with OIS, that is optical image stabilization, and yeah, I really did confirm it. As you can see, this video was shot at 4K 30 frames per second, and even though I was moving really fast and I would say almost running, you can still see how super stable the video footage came out. Lastly, I tried out the macro lens and well, I would just say it works. Now to the front selfie camera. In proper lighting, you get some really decent selfies with the A56 camera. Rich colors, accurate skin tones, and good dynamic range processing. Even under less than ideal lighting, like inside the studio, I still got some really decent selfies. Okay, so this is the front-facing camera of the Samsung Galaxy A56. Yeah, and yeah, this is how video looks like. It's quite cropped in, as you can see. Like I have to really extend my hands for me to, you know, be able to capture myself at least a bit. Yeah, so this is how video looks like. Let me see, dynamic range. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, very nice. And skin tones, I don't know, but maybe because this place is a bit dark, it's 415 right here, so, and I'm under a shade, so it's not really so bright for it to really show my skin tones exactly. But what do you think about the video quality? And since it's a bit windy, what about the audio quality? Is it okay? Let me have your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you. Now back to the AI the features, I said it's in the gallery app. We actually have two. We have the object eraser that I'll say it works pretty good, but definitely not as good as what we have in the flagships. And that is because we don't get generative fill that can be able to remake the picture, very well. Yeah, it doesn't really give very good results. There is also best face, which comes in really handy if you have that friend that always like to close his or her eyes in a group photo. Now, to use it, make sure motion photo is turned on. If not, it won't work. Now, one part where most people would feel uncomfortable getting the A56 is because of the Exynos 1580 chipset that runs it. There is this widespread narrative that Exynos used to overheat and that it slows down over time. Now, while all of these are valid and true because they are based off user experience, I would say with the A56, Samsung increased the vapor chamber by 15% to accommodate even more when it comes to heat regulation. And compared to the Exynos 1480 we have in the A55, you can see it's a huge upgrade both in terms of CPU and gaming performance. And then talking about overheating, I played both as Fat 9 and the other games on it for extended period of time. Yeah, there was increase in temperature, but it didn't get to that point where I would say I was really concerned. And for those who believe in Geekbench scores and stuff like that, here are the figures. Quite impressive, but what do you think? Now, will the performance of the A56 remain this smooth over time? Well, as you load in more apps and games in it, only time is going to tell. So stick around for my long-term review, which definitely will be coming, say, 3 to 4 months after, as I continue to use this smartphone. Now let's talk about battery charging and of course battery drainage. Well, it is still the same 5000 mAh battery inside the Galaxy A56, which isn't encouraging since we have bigger batteries in some of its closest rivals like the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus that has about 6200 mAh or the Vivo V50 that has about 6000 mAh battery. Samsung is definitely still holding up from using the silicon carbide battery technology on their smartphones. Let's hope we're going to see it in maybe the S26 Ultras when they launch, and then it's going to trickle down to the A series and all of that. Charging speed has definitely improved from 25 watts to 45 watts. So it's a bit faster for you to get full charge. In my testing, it took me about 60 minutes to go from 20% back to 100%. In my usage, I got about 9 hours screen on time, which isn't bad at all. I mean, it is super impressive considering the fact that I was testing it. So I had a lot of stressful apps downloaded to test it. I took it out from some camera actions. I played games extensively on it, things that you may not naturally do with your smartphone. I was still able to get 9 hours. So that means you definitely will be able to use this phone for more than a day without having to charge. That is my review of the Galaxy A56. Personally, what do you think about this device? As usual, just let's talk in the comment section below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel because the next video you will be seeing is my review of the Galaxy A36. You don't want to miss it. So I'll catch you in that video.